Good morning everybody, my name is Jack and today I will be discussing my literature review, women NCAA hockey and concussion in sport, and the further research that will be conducted in regards to concussion. As you can see in the bottom right hand corner, a concussion is a violent jarring or shaking that results in a disturbance of brain function. Firstly, we will look at what the research is about. As mentioned before, the research is about concussion in sport. It has been well documented that concussion can lead to headaches, dizziness, irritability, anxiety, depression, mood swings, anger, etc., etc. A recent study by Julie Agel and Edward J. Harvey concluded that women's ice hockey has the highest rate of concussion than any other sport in the world. My literature review focused on this study and asked the question, why women suffer concussion more than men?
The word concussion means to violently shake, and that's really what's happening to the brain. And what happens when the brain gets hit and bruised, it doesn't work well.
You can have a host of different symptoms. They range from things such as headache and nausea and vomiting, but it could be feeling mentally slow,
visual problems, sensitivity to light, ringing in the ears, balance problems,
having difficulty sleeping, feeling a little more irritable.
Some kids are very emotional. Depression problems, sadness, nervousness, crying, laughing uncontrollably.
Attention concentration's off, feeling slowed down.
There's so many different ways concussion present that it's very hard to just tell a kid or a coach or a parent, this is the one symptom to look for, because there's all these symptoms. Are you kidding me?
So that video just gives you a good idea of some of the signs and symptoms that can come from concussions and some of their lasting effects. Now let's look at what my literature review found out. So it found that men had more concussions in hockey than women. However, women had the highest rate of concussion, with 0.91 concussions per 1,000 athletic exposures, and men having 0.41 concussions per 1,000 athletic exposures. Gridiron is the second highest sport with 0.54 concussions per 1,000 athletic exposures. A lot has been done and been publicised about the concussion rate in gridiron, but in fact women's ice hockey has the highest one, and little has been done showing that. It also found that women have high concussion rates in non-contact sports such as soccer and basketball. From the literature review, there was two conflicting theories. One was the lack of body checking in women's ice hockey, and the other one was the anatomical differences in the sexes, and they were the reasons why women suffer more than men in concussions. So the first theory comes from the idea that because body checking isn't allowed in women's ice hockey, when players are involved in contact or collisions accidentally, they don't have the proper technique to brace themselves or to hit the opponent safely, leading to more concussions. This theory is backed by another study that was conducted in 2010. The results showed that open ice collisions are of greater impact to the head than walls, and that anticipated collisions are less damaging and cause less concussions than unanticipated collisions. The second theory, anatomical differences, is supported by physician R. Robert Franks and is backed up by scientific statistics such as females have 25% less head-neck segment mass than males.
The college hockey career of Madison native and Gopher standout Amanda Kessel is over due to lingering concussion-related issues. Kessel originally was hurt when she played for USA prior to the Olympics. Still, she led the silver medal-winning squad with 6 points in 5 games. However, Kessel's symptoms lingered. She did not go to school last year and will not play again this year, ending her collegiate career. Kessel led the undefeated Gophers to the NCAA title in 2013 and won the Patty Kazmaier Award for Player of the Year.
So that video shows a promising young college athlete having to retire because of concussion, and that helped me come up with my research question. if we do introduce body checks into all levels of hockey, what are the concussions? I came up with this research question based on the findings when conducting my literature review and the strong support to legalise body checking in women's and children's ice hockey, and the various studies that have been done that confirm body checking actually reduces the chance and impact of concussions. I want to know at what cost, i.e. Other injuries, etc. So looking at the researching method, I'm going to research this by comparing statistics and injury reports of youth players who play under the body checking rule and those who don't. So some leagues allow the body checking in the youth and others don't. So I'll be comparing those two. I'll be using the archival records analysis research method by comparing already recorded statistics of injuries and concussions and then converting those statistics into per athletic exposures. I'll also record new data from an upcoming ice hockey season that requires schools and youth teams to voluntarily record concussion and injury data from training and games into an injury surveillance database. I'll be using this method because this was the same method that was used in the literature, and by using the same methods I can then give a fair comparison and ultimately decide if it is worth allowing body checks in all forms of ice hockey or not. Looking at ethical considerations, in this form of research there is no real ethical considerations, as we're simply looking at already recorded data and also with the new data that will be collected during the normal course of hockey games and training. No one is participating against their will, it is voluntary, and no one is being subjected to purposely causing concussions and other injuries to see the effects. However, because this research is including children and youth, there is a duty of care, and whenever working with children it is important that all research is conducted within the context of any state or federal child protection legislation. While it is acknowledged that all research should be within legal boundaries, working with children provides an additional overlay of legal responsibility. Also, conducting research in schools requires permission from the school principal and requires permission from the Department of Education and Training. To ensure that it is sound research and the answers are valid, schools have to report a minimum of 24 games and 63 practices to be counted in this research. So what I expect to find from the research, due to other research conducted, my expectations for this research is that body checking does result in less concussions. However, it results in more injuries to other parts of the body. From the research, I hope to provide additional information to the ongoing debate of whether body checking should be legalised in women's ice hockey. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me your undivided attention for this presentation.